The great crystal halls of Valkara stood silent. Even the wind refused to move through the golden arches. Inside the royal temple, Queen Zira sat alone. Her race, usually bright and full of command, now stared at nothing. Yes. The message had arrived. 2 days ago, her human mate, Captain Nate Ryder, was gone. They told her his ship was destroyed in the Battle of the Dark Belt. It was supposed to be a peace mission. He had gone there to speak with the rebel factions to protect the fragile treaty between Valkara and the outer systems. Instead, his ship was ambushed. No distress signal, no survivors. Only floating metal and burned pieces were recovered. The court had tried to speak with her. The advisors stood at her door. They begged her to eat, to sleep, to give orders. But Zira said nothing. Her long silver robes dragged behind her as she walked the temple floors alone, her hands clutching the necklace Nate had given her, a simple human ring on a chain, a small thing from Earth. She had laughed when he first gave it to her, but now it was all she had. The royal healer, old Veritel, dared to enter. "My queen," she said softly, kneeling. "Your people need you. The enemy believes we are weak now." Zira turned her face slightly. Her voice was dry. "Let them believe." "But he is gone," Zira said, closing her eyes. "My bondmate, my light, my shield." I felt it. A cold silence where his warmth once was. The healer lowered her head. "I understand grief, my queen. But his body, it was never found." That made Zira open her eyes fully. "What do you mean?" His ship was shattered. "Yes. But the black box recorded no life readings. Nothing at all, some believe. It was destroyed too quickly. Others believe he may have been taken." Zira stood slowly. Her long white hair shimmered like moonlight. "Taken. It is only a whisper," the healer said. "The void trench lies near the battle site, it is said. Strange things happen there." The queen looked away, her thoughts drifting. The void trench was a place of old fears. No ship went near it. Not without purpose. Later, in her private chamber, Zira stared out at the stars. She remembered how Nate used to stand beside her, arms crossed, smiling as he guessed the names of the stars. He never got them right, but she never corrected. "Him, you humans," she once told him, "are stubborn," he had laughed, "and you aliens are far too serious." That night, she dreamed of him, not dead, not cold, but calling her from somewhere far, far away. When she woke up, she was crying. At the same time, in a hidden part of the galaxy, far from any map, a man opened his eyes. His body ached. He was lying on a strange bed made of smooth metal. Dim lights glowed above him. Machines hummed softly. Tubes were connected to his arms. He tried to move, but pain shot through his chest. "Where am I?" Nate whispered. A soft voice answered. "Not human, not alien. Mechanical. You are safe, Captain Nate Ryder. Your mind is stabilizing. Memory functions returning." "Are you?" "I am Sentinel X. I saved you from destruction." "Why?" "Because you carry something the galaxy must not forget." Nate frowned. Flashes of the battle returned. The explosion. The light. The silence. And then darkness. How long was I out? 12 standard days. Nate sat up slowly. "What do you mean I carry something?" "Truth," the voice said. "A truth hidden deep within your bond to the Valkaran Queen." Nate's breath caught. "Zira, is she safe?" "Yes, but she believes you are dead, and I have to get back to her." "Not yet. The truth must be revealed." Back on Volkara, Queen Zira sent a message to her most loyal guard Rickon. He had served her since she was a child. Quiet, fast, loyal. She called him to the hidden garden, double quotes Rike. She said, "I want you to find the source of a signal." He bowed. "What kind of signal?" "One only I recognize. It carries his code." Nate's code. Rickon blinked. "My queen, that is impossible." "I do not believe in impossibilities anymore," she said. "I believe in him." "Where?" Did it come from? Near the void trench? Rickon tensed. That place is cursed, and take those who do not fear curses, she said. Go quietly. Do not alert the council. Bring back what you find. He bowed once more. I will not fail you. As Rickon left, Zira placed her hand over her heart. It still hurt. The pain was still sharp. But deep under that pain, something small had started to grow again. Hope. Riken's small scout ship flew silently through deep space. Only 3 other warriors were with him. They were loyal, trained to follow orders without question. The Queen had chosen them for this secret mission because none of them feared the unknown. But even they grew quiet as the void trench appeared in front of them. The trench was a massive black rift in space. No stars, no light, just a wide stretch of nothing. Many ships had entered and never returned. Stories spoke of strange voices, broken time, and missing crews. But Riken's eyes stayed sharp as he piloted the ship closer to the signal source. Do you believe it's really him? One of the warriors asked softly. R.I. Kane didn't answer, just stared ahead watching the readings. Then the signal blinked on their screen, again a short burst of data with a human code. Nate's code. Prepare the stealth field, Rickon ordered. We go in now. Meanwhile, inside the hidden station deep in the trench, Nate stood barefoot. On the smooth floor, the walls around him shifted slowly, like they were alive. The AI voice, Sentinels, had been talking for hours. It showed him memories from the battle angles he never saw, recordings from ships that were never his. He watched his own ship get destroyed. Then he saw something strange. Just before the explosion, a beam of light had pulled him out. You saved me mid-explosion, Nate asked. Yes, Sentinel X replied. We had to. Your survival was required. Why? I'm just a man, a human, a soldier. You are more than that now. Your bond with the Queen awakened a power we did not predict. Eyebrow bond? You mean the mating link? Yes. Your genetic structure, combined with hers, triggered a dormant force hidden beneath her planet. It is ancient, older than both your species. Now, it stirs. Nate paced the room. She know? Not yet, but others do, and they want to keep it hidden. Who are they? A secret alliance of high-caste aliens and human leaders. They fear what your bond represents. Nate shook his head. Zira has to know. You will return. To her, the AI said, but first, you must understand the truth. The power under Valkara was once sealed because it could change matter, reshape time, and rebuild life. Together, you and the Queen may unlock it. Nate stopped walking. His heart pounded. Then why save me if you think this is dangerous? Because not all of us fear change. Suddenly, alarms sounded in the station. Sentinex paused. A ship has entered the trench. It matches Valkyron's scout patterns. Nate's eyes lit. Up. Zira sent them. Then they must not be captured. I will hide you. Wait until it is safe. As Riken's ship approached the trench's center, strange energy fields flickered on their screens. Controls began to slow. Lights dimmed. Then, a structure appeared, massive, cloaked, floating silently in the darkness. It looked like a fortress, but not made by any known species. Gods of the stars, whispered one of the warriors. Is that? Rickon narrowed his eyes. We're going in. The ship's stealth field held strong as they drifted toward a side entrance. Rickon led his team in, each wearing light armor and holding quiet plasma rifles. They expected guards or defenses but found none. Inside, the halls were smooth and cold. Lights glowed gently on the walls, but no signs of life moved. They passed rooms with strange symbols, pods, and strange machines. It felt more like a forgotten temple than a base. Suddenly, Rickon raised a hand. Wait, do you hear that? They all paused, a voice low, soft code through the hall. Human voice. This way, Rickon said quickly, following the sound. In a small chamber, Nate sat quietly with his back to the wall. His eyes widened when the door opened, and Valkyron warriors stepped inside, weapons raised. Don't shoot, he shouted, holding up his hands. I'm not a threat. Rickon stared. In disbelief? Captain Nate? Nate stood slowly. I'm real. Rickon stepped forward. The Queen thought you were dead. She mourned for you. I thought I was dead too, Nate said. But something here saved me. And now I need to return to her. Rickon nodded slowly. We'll take you, but we must leave quickly. They'll try to stop us, Nate warned. This place, it holds secrets. Rickon gave the signal. Then we take those secrets with us. As they escaped, Sentinex helped shut down the alarms and opened exit paths. Before Nate left, the AI spoke one last time. She will need your strength. The truth you bring may break everything she knows, but it may also save everything. Nate nodded. I'm ready. Soon the scout ship raced away from the void trench. Behind them, the strange fortress faded into nothingness, like it had never been there. Back on Valkara, Queen Zira stood once more at her balcony, staring at the stars. Her heart was heavy, but a strange feeling tugged at her, again like a string deep in her soul had been touched. She turned her head slightly. He's alive, she whispered. At that same moment, in the skies above, Riken's ship entered the outer orbit. Inside, Nate sat quietly, holding the ring necklace he had once given her. He didn't know how she would react, but he had to see her. The royal tower was quiet as night-covered Valkara. Queen Zira sat in the throne room, eyes fixed on the large doors in front of her. Only a few trusted guards stood around her. She had not spoken since receiving Riken's message. He lives. We are coming home, her heart raced. She wanted to believe, but doubt whispered in her ear. Was it really him, or a trick sent to hurt her again? The doors opened slowly. Rik stepped in first. His armor was scratched, his expression firm. Behind him walked a figure dressed in dark clothing, thinner than before, with short hair and a scar across his cheek. Zer stood up. Her breath caught. Nate. He looked up at her. Tired eyes. Weak steps, but it was him. Zira, he whispered. She didn't wait. She ran to him, her royal robes flowing behind her. When she reached him, she stopped just for a moment. Then she touched his face gently like he might disappear. It's really you, she said. I didn't mean to leave, he said. I tried to come back. She pulled him into her arms. I thought you were dead. Hey. So did I. They stayed like that for a moment, holding each other in silence. Then Zira turned to Rickon. Thank you, all of you. Rickon nodded. We followed your heart, my queen. Hours later, Nate sat in a private chamber, wrapped in warm cloth. Sipping a hot drink, Zira sat beside him, her hand resting on his, explained everything how he had survived, how he woke up in a strange station.
Ow!
And how a voice called Sentinel-X had told him a truth hidden beneath the surface of her. World.Zre listened carefully. She asked no questions until he finished. You believe this power is real? She finally asked. I do, Nate said. And it's connected to us, to our bond. Zira leaned back, deep in thought. Long ago, the temple elders spoke of a force buried beneath the land. They said it was sealed by those who came before us. I never believed the stories. It's not just a story, Nate said. They showed me records, energy patterns, even ancient symbols. It all pointed here. Zira stood and began to pace. The High Council must not know yet. They already mistrusted our bond. If they find out something powerful rests under our feet, something that connects to a human, they will panic. Nate nodded. That's why we have to be careful and fast. Suddenly, the chamber doors opened, and one of Zira's advisors entered without permission. His name was Lord Carvin Older, a strict member of the royal court, my queen, he said, frowning. I received word of your mate's return. But why was the court not informed? Because it was my choice, Zira answered coldly. He's not a stranger. He's my bondmate. Carvin's eyes narrowed, and yet he brings strange energy. Our sensors picked up strange waves from your private wing. What has he brought with him? Nate stood. Just the truth. Then you will bring it before the council, Carvin said. Immediately, Zira stepped forward. That is not your decision. Carvin gave a short bow. You wish, my queen, but I will call a special hearing. The people deserve to know what this human carries. After he left, Nate sighed. They won't trust me. No, Zira said, but they will fear you. And sometimes, fear keeps enemies quiet. The next day, the royal hall was filled. Members of the High Council sat in tall chairs, their faces unreadable. Soldiers lined the walls. Even distant nobles had come to see the human who returned from. The dead Nate stood in the center, beside Queen Zira, felt the weight of every eye on him. K.R. Wiesen stood. His human vanished during a failed mission. He returns with no proof of who saved him and speaks of powers no one has seen. How do we know he isn't a danger? Zoraya's voice rang clear. Because he is not a liar. Because I trust him. Carvon raised a hand. Let him prove. We will use the Stone of Truth. Gasps filled the hall. The Stone of Truth was an ancient relic. If touched, it glowed blue for truth and red for lies. None could fool it. Nate stepped forward. Fine. Bring the stone. Priestess carried the glowing artifact into the hall. Floated slightly above her hands, warm and pulsing. She held it out to Nate. He reached forward and placed both hands on it. I am Nate Ryder, he said. I was saved by an unknown force and shown visions of a power connected to the Queen and myself. This truth is not a threat. It is a warning. Stone glowed bright blue. The council murmured. Some looked shocked, others angry. Carvin didn't back down, even if he tells the truth that power is still dangerous. What if it brings war? Or worse, Nate looked around. What if it brings peace? What if it heals instead of destroys? Why should fear keep us from knowing the truth? Zaria walked beside him. I will not let fear rule us. We'll go to the ancient chambers beneath the temple. If there is something hidden, we will find it. Together. The hall fell silent. Carvin said nothing, but something had changed, deep beneath the palace. Something ancient began to stir. Queen Ziraya walked through the old stone halls beneath the palace. The air was thick and cool. Glowing blue torches lined the walls, casting shadows that danced as she passed. Beside her walked Nate, dressed in ceremonial armor. His steps were slow, careful, as if the ground might crack open. I never knew this place was here, he whispered. Cire gave a small nod. Few do. This part of the temple was sealed generations ago. Only the Queen holds the key. Behind them followed 3 guards and an elder priestess who carried ancient scrolls. Their faces were serious. They all knew this wasn't just a search, it was a risk. But something called them forward. At the end of the tunnel, they reached a thick door made of silver stone. Strange symbols were carved into it. Some glowed faintly. Zira placed her hand on the center mark. Her skin shimmered as the stone reacted. To her touch, the door slid open with a deep hum. Inside was a large chamber with a smooth crystal floor. In the middle, a tall pillar rose from the ground. It pulsed gently, like it was breathing. As Nate stepped closer, the pillar glowed brighter. It's reacting to him, the priestess whispered. Zeta looked at Nate. Touch it. He nodded and placed his hand on the crystal. Instantly, the room lit up. Waves of energy spread across the walls, and the ground vibrated. Symbols flashed around them, images of ancient times, of humans and Valkyrons standing together, of light and storms, of peace and war. Nate's mind filled with visions. He saw a time long ago when humans first stepped into space. They met a race not yet known to the galaxy, early Valkyrons. At first they fought. Then they joined forces. Something powerful was born between them. But others grew afraid. They sealed the power deep within the Queen's world and erased the records. Nate pulled his hand away. The light faded, but the warmth remained. What did you see? Ziria asked gently. Us, he said. Our people. Long ago they were allies. They unlocked something together. Something beautiful. But fear ended it. The priestess stepped forward. This pillar is a key. The energy within it sleeps until the bond of human and Valkyron awakens it. Then that's what the council fears, Zirea said. Not the power, but the change it brings. Before they could speak more, a sharp noise echoed through. The tunnel's an alarm, one of the guards pressed his ear. Emergency call from the palace. Intruders, inside the throne room. Zoraya's eyes hardened. Carvin. They rushed back through the tunnel, reaching the palace just as smoke rose from the great hall. Warriors in dark armor not from Valkara stood at the gates, pushing past royal guards. Carvin stood at the center, holding a plasma blade. "Arrest the human," he shouted. Zoraya stepped in front of Nate. "You will not touch him." Carvin's eyes burned with anger. "You are blind, my queen. He brings chaos. I only seek to protect Valkara." "By using outsiders to attack your own people?" she snapped. "They are loyal to a higher order," Carvin said. "They see what I see, that the bond between you and this human breaks everything we stand for." "Then maybe it should," Nate said, stepping forward. "Because what you stand for isn't peace, it's fear." Carvin growled and raised his blade. But before he could strike, Rickon appeared, leading a team of loyal warriors. Clashed with Carvin's soldiers. The throne room shook with energy blasts and the sound of blades clashing. Zir fought beside her people, fast and fierce. Nate held off 2 attackers, his training kicking in. Though tired, he moved with purpose. In the middle of the fight, Carvin reached the throne and grabbed the sacred crown. "If I cannot rule," he shouted, "then no one will." He slammed the crown into the ground. Energy burst out, wild and unstable. The crystal pillar deep beneath the palace responded. Light shot up through the floor, wrapping around Nate and Zira. Their eyes met. "What's happening?" Nate asked. "Bond," Zira said. "It's protecting us." As the wild energy filled the hall, Nate and Zira stood calm inside the glowing light. Carvin screamed as the force knocked him back. His false allies fell. Within seconds, the battle ended. The palace stood silent once more. Carvin was taken away in chains. The strange outsiders who fought beside him vanished, their technology burned by the energy pulse. The council stood in shock, unable to speak. Zir turned to them. "This is what you feared," she said, "but it is not a weapon, it is truth. And it is ours now." The priestess stepped forward. "The old stories have come again. The bond has awakened the guardian force. No one can deny it." Zara looked at Nate. His hands were shaking, but his eyes held steady. "We have started something," he said. "Softly, yes," she replied, "and there is no going back." Outside the palace, the skies above Valkara changed. New stars blinked into view. A sign that the ancient force had truly awakened in the galaxy would soon feel its presence. For 2 days, Valkara stood still. No ships entered or left the skies. No merchants shouted in the markets. No drums played in the palace halls. Instead, people whispered about the light in the throne room, about the power that came from below, about the human who had returned from the dead and stood beside their queen. Zira walked through the palace gardens with Nate at her side. She looked calm, but inside her thoughts raced. The pillar, the vision, the truth, everything pointed toward change. And not just for Valkara, for the galaxy. "The council is split," she told him. "Some want to explore the power. Others want it sealed again?" Nate nodded. "They fear what they don't understand." "They always have," she said. "Even our bond was once forbidden." They stopped at a small fountain. Zira placed her hand on the water, and soft ripples moved across it. "But maybe," she said, "this time, the people are ready." Same morning, a ship arrived from the outer systems. It belonged to the ancient Unionan, old group of leaders from different planets, once powerful, now silent. Their flag had not been seen in years. The ship carried only 3 beings. Dressed in black robes with silver threads, the lead figure introduced himself as Orlan. "We felt the disturbance," he said calmly, bowing before the queen. "The energy wave touched our sensors, even in the outer systems." Zira sat tall on her throne. "And what do you want?" To understand what was awakened, Nate watched carefully. Something about Orlan made him uneasy. His voice was too smooth. His smile too perfect. Zira answered, "A truth buried long ago. A bond between our kind and humans. We found it again." Orland tilted his head. Such things are dangerous. Your Majesty, some powers are better left untouched. Nate stepped forward. You don't get to decide that. Orland turned to him. Ah, the human. The one who returned. Your presence is interesting. I'm not just present, Nate said. I'm part of this now. I won't let anyone hide the truth again. Orland smiled faintly. We shall see. After the meeting, Zira called her closest advisors and Rickon to the war chamber. The galaxy was watching, and she knew silence would only bring more danger. They will try to stop us, she said. Not with words, but with force. Then we must be ready, Rickon said. Nate looked at the map. The energy from the pillar, it didn't just light up Volcara. It lit up something else too. He pointed to a system near the old war front. Here, a place called Ellen's Reach. The AI that saved me mentioned it. Zyra nodded. I've heard that name in old texts. Ruins buried in ice. Forgotten long ago. We should go there, Nate said. Whatever this power is, that place may hold more answers. Rickon frowned. We can't risk taking the Queen into unknown space. Ziraya raised an eyebrow. You forget who I am, Rickon. The decision was made. 2 ships were prepared. A royal cruiser and a stealth escort. Ziraya, Nate, Rickon, and a small team of scholars would travel to Elon's Reach. If it held answers, they would find them. If it held danger, they would. Face it. The night before departure, Zira and Nate stood at the edge of the palace tower, watching the stars. You should rest, she said softly. I can't, Nate said. Every time I close my eyes, I see the pillar. I see the old memories. It's like they're calling. Zira turned to him. Does it scare you? Yes, he said honestly. Did not as much as losing you again. She reached for his hand. You came back once. You'll come back again. He smiled. You sound sure. I am. The next day, the ships left Volcara. The stars shifted as they jumped through space. Ellen's Reach was far, cold, and surrounded by ancient warnings. But they went anyway. After 2 days, they arrived. The planet below was covered. In ice, no cities. No lights, only wind and silence. The ships landed near a frozen mountain where the energy signal was strongest. The team stepped out into the cold, suits keeping them warm. Scanners beeped as they moved forward. Their Rickon pointed. A door in the rock. The door was shaped like the one beneath the palace. Same symbols. Same glow. Zirei touched. The door opened. Inside, the walls were lined with crystal. This place wasn't just a ruin. It was a temple. It's untouched for thousands of years. Now they walked slowly, and then they saw it. Another pillar, but this one was broken. Shards lay scattered. The center cracked wide open. Something had destroyed it long ago. Nate walked up to it. It's damaged, but the energy is still here. The scholar scanned it. The patterns are the same as Valcara's, but this one was different. It was meant to communicate. Communicate with who? Zira asked, before anyone could answer. Alarms on their suits went off. A ship had entered orbit, not one of theirs. Orland, his voice came through the comms. You shouldn't have come here, Nate. Clenched his fists. He followed us. He feared this, Zira said, and now we know why. Suddenly, the cracked pillar glowed just for a second. It flashed a single image in the air, a symbol. Of unity too. 2 hands, 1 human, 1 Valcaran holding light. Zirei looked at Nate. They tried to destroy this place, but they couldn't destroy the truth. And it's time we protect it, Nate said. No matter what comes next. Outside. Orland's ship began to descend. The cold wind howled across the icy plains of Ellen's Reach as Queen Zira, Nate Rickon, and their team prepared for the coming battle. Orland's ship had landed nearby, its dark hull reflecting the pale light of the frozen sun. Shadows moved. As his soldiers disembarked, their weapons ready. They want to take the temple, Rickon said, loading his rifle, and the power inside it. Ziraya nodded. Then we will stop them. Together. Nate checked his gear and looked at the Queen. I never thought I'd fight a war alongside you again, she smiled. Then don't think, just fight. team moved swiftly through the temple corridors, their footsteps echoing softly. They reached the broken pillar, now pulsing faintly with energy. The symbol of unity, the hands holding light glowed brighter. This power is alive, the priestess said Jesus. It responds to those who seek it with true hearts. Suddenly the temple shook. Distant footsteps and the sound of weapons clashing echoed closer. They're coming, Rick warned. The first wave of Orlan's soldiers stormed the entrance. Plasma rifles fired, light flashing in the cold air. Zira raised her hand and a shield of blue energy formed around the team. It hummed with power, blocking attacks. Nate fought beside her, moving with skill and purpose. The bond between them seemed to grow stronger with every passing moment. Energy from the pillars flowed into them, making them faster, stronger. "We can't hold them forever," one guard shouted. "Then we push forward," Zira ordered. They advanced deeper into the temple, fighting through the enemy ranks. Orlan himself appeared, tall and calm, his eyes cold. "You cannot stop progress," he said. "This power belongs to those who control the galaxy." "We belong to those who respect it," Nate said, stepping forward. Orlan laughed, then prepare to lose. The battle grew fierce. Orlan's soldiers used strange devices that disrupted the temple's energy. The pillars flickered, weakening the team's shields. Ziria's voice rang out. "Focus on protecting the pillars. Without them, we fall." Nate saw a group of soldiers moving toward the main pillar. He rushed to meet them, fighting fiercely.
The energy inside him burned bright.
Just as the enemy reached the pillar, Nate reached out with his hand. A burst of light shot from him, pushing the soldiers back. Orlan's eyes widened. "Impossible," Zarea joined Nate, their hands touching the pillar. A wave of energy spread across the temple, knocking enemies to the ground. "This bond," Zarea said, "is the future." Orlan fell back, defeated. His soldiers surrendered or fled. The temple grew quiet once more. The team gathered around the pillar, exhausted but victorious. "This is only the beginning," Zira said. "It's the galaxy will hear of this day." Nate looked at her. "We'll stand together, no matter what comes." As they left the temple, the symbol of unity shone brightly above the entrance. Promise of a new era. The queen and her human mate faced the stars, ready to protect the truth they had found.